Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody in KW Black Real Estate Network world. Listen, if you just tried to join the live at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you saw me and my face all in the computer trying to figure out what was going on with the technology, please accept my sincere apologies. Don't blame it on KW technology. No, it was not command. I was using my own Fugazi technology. I'm traveling. I was not even at KW, and that did not work out well. And we didn't want you to miss this fantastic conversation that we're going to have. So we decided we were just going to continue to do it. We're going to just record it for you, and then you can play it and share it everywhere. We'll put it on the KW Black Real Estate Network thing. We'll put it on YouTube. We'll put it on wherever it needs to go. You can share it with your friends, share it with the people in your market center. But now we are here, and I'm sorry that we don't have your comments and questions live. Good news is John Clidy is pretty responsive. So if you have some questions after this, you can email him and we will get back to you with answers about that. So that's my sincerest apologies. Now, let me tell you why we're here. In honor of Black History Month, we thought it would be very cool to talk about a little history that we've made of our own. And if you're not familiar, for those of you who may not be familiar, Black History Month is an annual celebration that achieves Black people and a time for recognizing the significant roles that in our contributions to U.S. history. Some people call it African American History Month or whatever you might be calling it, but it originally came from Negro History Week, which was from the historian Carter Woodson. If you're familiar with him, Google him. And after that, ever since 1976, every US president has officially designated the month of February to be Black History Month. Other countries around the world, including Canada and the United Kingdom, celebrate Black History Month this month. And so I want to introduce you to one of the wonderful people in our organization that is making Black history. First and foremost, my name is Julia Lachey. I am head of inclusion and belonging here at the wonderful Keller Williams. And you are looking at Mr. John Clidy himself, who I've been doing the research, and I think Mr. John Clidy may be the highest ranking Black executive of any real estate franchise so far that I can find ever. So that's the history. Wow. We're making history in the moment. John Clidy is a pretty important guy. If you have not heard from him or have not heard any of his story, he was an agent. And by the way, if you want to hear his story, you can tune into the Color of Money podcast, colorofmoneypodcast.com, shameless plug. On episode 4, he talks to us about leaving, being a state trooper and becoming a real estate agent. And in fact, that episode is called Leaving Six Figures because he wrote a book called Leaving Six Figures. And it talks all about that. He's the founder of the Clidy Group. He's got a big team. He's an operating principal of how many market centers, John?
9.
I just told somebody 3. What did I do? Operating principal of 9 market
Well,
centers.
let me correct that. I'm operating principal of 1. I own 9.
Okay. All right. Okay. Got it.
Yeah,
We'll get into that. Yeah. And amongst a number of other things, husband, father, all of those things. Today, you are the vice president of growth for Keller Williams Realty International, the largest real estate franchise in the world. So congratulations, my friend. I hope I've done your intro okay. Tell us more about you and why you're here.
Thank you for all that stuff. And, the cool thing about me is my one thing or the thing that drives me is really kind of seeing others succeed, because that's how I succeeded, right? Like, this is great that I might be the first. I don't know. We got to do homework, find out who's the first or whatever. But what I will tell you, I won't be the last. And that's what makes me excited. And Julia, the cool thing for both of you and I is that we can now make change. Like, you could talk about it and people could say, I got you, it'll happen. We really can be part of the change that we can all be, wherever everyone that's listening, I can honestly say you could be here. And I can mean it because I know I've traveled it, right? And I think you could say, hey, you could be my replacement, right? You can be even better. We might have to add another person on to support the initiative or whatever that is. So that's what I think makes this, the historical part of this is that we talked about this a while ago when we started DI for KW, and we could have came farther. I think, like anything, we want more, but where we are now and where I know we could go is really cool.
Well, okay. So before we talk about where we could go.
So I try not to talk about myself.
The whole point of this interview is for you to talk about yourself.
Well, if you see my notes say everything how I can help everybody out there.
We'll get to that.
Yes.
We'll get to that.
But I'm going to try to follow the rules
here. I'm tuning into this video and I say, who is John Clidy to even tell me that you have the authority to give me any opportunities? So who is John Clidy? How did you get here?
So I did a bio for, I don't know if you guys even know, there's this thing called Tiger 21, which is one of the highest networking communities in the country. You got to be like a 12 million net worth to even get in. So I was working on my bio for my interview.
So you have 12, let's just stop there. You kind of ramp that. So you have 12 million net worth because you're in.
It has to be over. So wherever that is, yes.
Okay.
But the thing is I was trying to figure out like the bio because it's kind of changed with this new role. And I was kind of going through my journey again. And I was like, that you kind of, you say like, hey, I started off with this one house in, 2000. That was, one little investment property that, led to me to started having a successful real estate career, right? Like it wasn't like, and minority agents should know this. We usually start off in the rougher parts, right? I know I did. I started off in, Camden where nobody wanted listings and everyone gave me the listings. And, I went from having 0 listings to having like 100 listings. And then the market did what it did, right? The market went crazy and I had 100 plus listings. And at that time, it didn't really matter because those $10,000 homes were now 50, 60, 100, 150, whatever. So that's kind of was my change. But real estate was the platform that allowed me to now go and invest because now I made some money being a realtor. And then maybe I didn't love being real estate. So as I was writing my bio, I was like, so then the next thing is I got excited about real estate office, right? So I had success as a mega agent. I became a mega agent, which is $10 million production. And then I got pretty excited about this office thing, right? This Keller Williams thing. And I think I was runner up for a home run launch that year, which was, I think, 2012 or 11. And I took my team of 6 to, I think we were at 72 within 6 months, 72 agents. And within 2 years, we were over 200. And I think that's what led to like Mike McCarthy saying, hey, I'm looking for a regional, leader. And that was really cool. Like, I don't remember us having that quick of a growth, in my launches, but me and my dad, Rich, and would you be interested? And I'm like, oh, I'm a state trooper. Yeah. You can't just leave these jobs, like you can't, I'm dual career. This ain't cool. I want to get my pension. I worked hard. And
so wait, stop again. You just told us all the numbers and all the huge success you had in selling houses. And then you just said, I was dual career. You did all of that on the side?
That was a side hustle. Yeah, that's why I wrote the book. I wrote the book to tell the story because everybody said, you did what? And I was like, I'm tired of telling them. So I was like, let me write a story. Maybe my grandkids could see it one day. And then I could tell people, instead of me telling the story a million times, just get the book.
So everybody buy the book. Buy the book.
Yeah, the book. You don't make any money on books. So I just want to make everybody know this ain't no plug. I'm going to be rich off this book. The book, I think, you'll get the plug because so many people are like, I don't know what to do, whatever. I didn't know what to do. But the book does spell out kind of what I did. And I think it is duplicatable, meaning that what I did was I had to win one battle at a time. And I think so many people try to like go right from not kind of winning to trying to get the prize, So I won every battle. My first battle was I had to become a respected realtor, right? And how do you become a respected realtor? Most markets is like $10 million production. You get a little bit of kudos, right? I end up being a $40 million agent in my market at the highest point. We're more now, but I'm not leading it. So I'll give credit to the new leaders now. But at that point, when I was on my own, it was 40 million. And then I took that $40 million career, real estate business, and then started flipping homes, right? And started holding homes. So then I started to kind of get some mastery there, right? So now I have a little bit more of a pedigree now. And then you get another win. And then the next win was, someone challenged me to go launch a market center. Okay, I could do that, and it was Keller who then when I was doing it, and I was able to actually win that battle, right? And then the next battle was a regional battle. Like, all right, and I think I told you this when I first was in the RD room, there was no minorities. It was before Bo and Kimber, the queen, the king and queen of our, I think at BRN, they're two very successful leaders, but they weren't there yet. I was in there, and so I was like, this is overwhelming and uncomfortable. I'm like, not a lot of people, look like me, and I was a little bit younger, at that time because it was more older RDs at the time. So eventually I started to get success there. I kept quiet in that room, but 3 years in, I was like, I think I got this. 4 years, I got this. And then before you know it, I think year 5 and 6 is when I was really like comfortable with OPs, felt like I knew what I was talking about. Started launching a bunch of market centers, and then I won there. And that's when I became a MAPS. I don't know how people know I was a MAPS RD coach for a little bit, coaching the highest level leader as an RD. And then, like I said, eventually I got the knock to be a divisional leader, which is leading.
So let me back up because you're telling your story, and along the way, what I'm hearing you say several times is somebody tapped you on the shoulder and was like, hey, you should be and one of the challenges that a lot of us have is, and I was about to say feeling like, but sometimes it is the fact that people aren't tapping you on the shoulder. How do you do something to get noticed to be tapped on the shoulder?
Well, I think I was saying it. I think, the litmus test or I think the benchmark in our company has always been be a mega agent first, which is $10 million, maybe in some markets, 100 units or whatever. But I think that's the first, usually that's where I know we look as regional directors. Like when I look for someone, I'm like, I don't care if you're single or team. I don't care. If you found a way to create 10 million or 100 transactions through your efforts, no matter if you recruited to it or whatever. Okay. Like you can do the baseline stuff, right? So to me, I think if we're talking real estate, sales, that would be what I think people look for. If you're talking about a team leader or maybe a team leader role to go to OP or MCA role, if you're an MCA or a team leader, maybe it's the MCA leading a very successful market center that grows by maybe 60 gross per year or 60 net per year.
In a nutshell, you're saying excel where you are.
Yeah. Like whatever it is, whether it's leadership or agents, there is a metric, right? I would say to me, it's 60 gross for a market center leader, OP and MCA, I think, or a team leader and MCA, I think either one. For an OP would be nail that with your team leader and MCA, or if you're team leader and MCA, you are the one doing it. And as an agent, I would say it's a $10 million producer. Like if I had to say the baseline, right? And then all the other stuff that matters, right? And this is the stuff I told you about. You're in culture. You actually do things in the market center, meaning you're on the ALC if you're an agent, meaning you attend things if you're a leader. Like if you're a leader.
Attend things, like actually show up?
And I'm not talking about like a bunch of things. I'm talking about the main things, like your sales meeting if you're a realtor, right? If you have regional events that are big, you probably want to go there and show up and be a leader. You probably will train maybe once a quarter, maybe twice a year, like you're going to do things that you're not just doing it because we're watching you for an opportunity. You're doing it because it's in your soul. It's who you are, right? Because I don't think it was in my soul until I became a Keller Williams agent. Really, I was a Century 21 mega. I was cool. I was flipping houses. I was good. They left me alone. I left them alone. But when I came here, it kind of forced me like, all right, do I want to get all in or do I want to kind of do my thing, right? And that either is okay. But if you want to be a leader, we want culturally sound people. We want people that teach, that are learning based, that are helping people, like all that. So if you have all those things and you've nailed one of your roles, you've won or you've hit the litmus mark on one of the, as a sales agent or as a leader, I don't think you have to be tapped. I mean, someone's going to tap you. You might miss a tap and you get the second tap, but someone's going to tap you because we do. And I could say this as the VP of growth and seeing a lot already and being a DL prior, we have a lot of opportunity. I mean, I'm saying tons.
Okay, now I want to stop there and talk to you about that because I hear people say that all the time. Like Mark King would say to me all the time, "Oh, there's so much opportunities, I'm like, where, bro? Like, so when you say there's so much opportunity, what do you mean by that? Opportunity in what? Opportunity where? Is it hiding under a rock?
So I could tell you this, and I know every angle because I'm like a savant around leadership. Like I'm all over it. So if I had to say in the agent world, every agent, especially the ones that have been around, are looking for people to take their business over. No one wants to sell real estate anymore. I'm just being clear. I mean, people are trying to get out and they want a little piece, right? So they're like, hey, I just want 25% for the rest of my life, and I want someone to run this thing. So there's plenty of that out there. So if you can lead something, you probably can lead teams, their operational team. If if you have admin skills, anybody, everywhere, every region, every team, every market center can use a recruiter. I promise you, if you can recruit, I will get you a job. It don't have to be with Keller Williams. I mean, I'm talking for title companies, mortgage companies. I mean, if you can recruit people, that's a skill in itself, right? That's base level agent stuff. From a market center, we're going to launch a market center in every region. So there's 31. So we need, go ahead.
Who's going to launch a market center in every region?
Well, my goal, I should have started with this too. My goal for Keller Williams as the VP of growth is I want to launch a market center in every region in 2024. Which means
now I'm gonna stop there because I've been over the last few weeks, we've been engaged in a lot of conversations with mega teams and mega agents, and everybody's kind of looking like, what's next? What's next for me? You just said the goal in 2024 is to launch one market center in every region.
Minimum.
Okay.
So, and I'll say this publicly, and like you said, you could put it in the chat or comment section, or you can email me at jclidy, JCLIDY at KW.com. If you are a mega agent and you want an opportunity to be an OP, and meaning you've done $10 million plus, and you're in good culture and you train and you're teaching and you've been, if you're in a market center, you're on the ALC and you're committed to help that market center grow, we will find you an opportunity. That's you, Mark Willis.
One more time, because there are a lot of people we've had conversations with that are saying, I'm just not seeing any opportunity. Repeat what you just said. If you are what?
If you're a $10 million producer, I don't care if single or team, you're in good standing with your market center. And if you're not in good standing because there's a conflict, then then we talk about that. Meaning that you're just a good person, I guess is what I'm trying to say, right? And you're in culture and you attend your meetings and you're on the ALC, you send your email to me, we will figure it out. We will work it out. And listen, if it's not where you directly where you live, because there's a newer operator there currently, we will work out, we'll figure out some opportunity in the area. Or, as you know, we're working on other things that maybe there's an opportunity within there. It's just a different business model and how that would look. So my point is that we don't want to shut any door for BRN, for the Hispanics, for Asians, for anybody in this company that wants opportunity, whites, blacks, I don't really care. If you fit the criteria, we'll figure it out, right? That's what I want to say.
If I'm listening to this and I'm like, well, I am a good person and I do have a growth mindset and I do come to all the meetings, but I don't make $10 million. Does that mean that there's no opportunities in this company for me?
No, it just means it depends. If you're trying to move up the ladder, you got to hit the first rung. So like a lot of people, and I hear that and I'm like, then if you want ownership, you got to do something different, right? You can't just, it is hard to just run a team, let alone 100, 200. Really, our average size market center is 200 agents. If you can't run a $10 million team and show a trajectory of growth and that you can hire people, how the heck are you going to lead 5 or 6 people and need to grow by, we're looking at 10 gross a month with maybe a net of 3 a month, which means you're growing by at least 3 agents a month. And oh, by the way, if you really want to be profitable and you want to maximize the territory, you're probably going to have to be somewhere over 350, 400 agents, depending on the price point. Can you do that? So we have to look at your body of work. Can you do that? Right? That's if it's the market center path, right? It could be a different path, but if it's the leadership path, that's we're looking for big time growth minded people that can continue to grow and a trajectory to grow.
Well, what if it's not the leadership path? What if I'm an agent and I say I like being an agent and I like running my team, but I want to make my team a really big team. I want to be, I want to be a team that whatever the vision is for your team to be a large team. Because I know a lot of people say, oh, I want to be in leadership. I want to be an owner. I want to be whatever. And the reality is that really the best gig in the company is a mega agent.
It's the mega agent. Well,
and so how do I expand my team if my goal is to grow in that path, not necessarily be in leadership? Because let's be honest, John, most realtors get into real estate because I don't actually want anybody to tell me what to do. I don't want a corporate type structure. I got here because
really,
I don't want to do that. Yeah.
I will tell you, I think that's the ticket, meaning that I would prefer now, knowing what I know, like I would have probably put more time in my sales team. I fell in love with leadership. And I don't want to say I fell out of love with being a sales leader because I still have a team. I'm the co now. It's not the Clidy group. It's called Living in One Team with me and Brandon Hawkins co-lead it. And he's younger, more energized, and he's doing all the day-to-day stuff. But there's a plan that we feel like we're going to go from 60 million to 100 million by this time next year. So that's going to be more profitability. It means we're going to hire probably 3 more people.
How do I do that?
Well, first, if anyone here, and I'm highly, highly recommend career visioning, because career visioning talks about your first hire. Because if you want to grow a massive sales team, and it doesn't have to be a bunch of agents like people think, right? You can be a single agent with a bunch of administrators. I know a guy named Mike Chuntsey in Westchester, and Buddy Martin, two people. Mike makes about 1.4 million a year as a solo agent with 2 admins. Buddy Martin probably makes about 2.7 million a year as a solo commercial agent with 1 admin. Now, so how important do you think that 1 admin is? Or that there are 2 admins? It's so important because now Mike and Buddy can go out and actually do lead generation stuff, which is where the money's at, right? So it just depends how big you want to be. Do you want to deal with people or not? Because someone's going to have to deal with people, because self-practitioners can be the best ever, right? But unfortunately, with self-practitioners, when you get sick or God forbid something happens, everything stops. So you got to decide if you want to be a business owner, you got to deal with people in some form or fashion so you can leverage your business and your time. So the key to not being in leadership and coming over to the sales side is who you hire. It starts with the first hire, because if you hire a good admin, you probably can hire a good transaction coordinator. You could probably hire a good operations person. And then eventually you're going to hire like someone that really you're going to follow the MRA model, right? For the most part, you're following the playbook that Gary, it's in everything we do as a company. So if you're on this call and you're saying, I don't know, well, go on Connect or Command. Jason talks about all these things on there and actually shows you actually how to create a millionaire real estate business. And it starts with this little block that says level 1, you, and then level 2, you and an admin, right? And it's that simple. And then you got to decide every time for that business is the next hire, right? So you are predicated on the person you hire to move up to the next level. So as I said in leadership, it's more of, can you grow? Can you keep a culturally sound office? Can you hire the market center staff members, right? And eventually OP goes to hire maybe a team leader, MCA, and then MCA team leaders, they take it from there, right? So for me as a leader, if I hire an awesome team leader and an MCA, I should be good because they'll take over the rest. For me in a team, if I hire an awesome transaction coordinator admin and operations, usually they'll take over from there. And then when you go to the next level, maybe like level 5 and 6, when I start really getting close to my replacement, then I might come back again and start hiring someone I'm grooming them to replace me at the 7th level, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So we've talked about, in just a short span of time, we've talked about a ton of different opportunities. I don't know if you mentioned, but you threw in there all the different things that you've been. I didn't know that you had been a MAPS coach, oversaw that at one point. But you've been a mega agent, you've oversaw the MAPS coach. There's MAPS coaching that's out there that people could do. They can be in that team leader, the divisional leader, regional director. There's all these.
And I want people to know, MAPS has requirements too. And most of those requirements are pretty much what I just shared for our requirements. So it's not like I'm recreating the wheel. Like to be a MAPS coach, you got to have certain requirements. And they're like bench level. They're like they're not like some crazy, like you got to have $80 million and shit. No, they're like pretty, standard mega agent leadership type things that you would think would be considered that you nailed that opportunity kind of thing. So I just want to know that there are criteria out there for KW improve. Like if you want to be a a lot of people say, I want to public speak. Okay. There's a process for that. Right. And then once you become a public speaker, what's your pedigree that someone even wants you to speak for them, right? Like, what did you do that's so awesome that they're going to pay you money to actually watch you speak, right? So I know I talked a lot, but I just want to make sure.
I guess the point is that we've mentioned a lot of different types of opportunities. If you're familiar with the Y4C2Ts, the E, when with Social Equity Task Force, when you and Kimber started it, and when I came in, it kind of evolved into the diversity, equity, and inclusion. But in our Y4C2Ts that we have as a company, the E stands for opportunities for all. And so I think like you said, maybe we weren't so good at that before, but now it's really is a focus on making sure that there actually are opportunities for all. And now we have the head of growth, as somebody who started the initiative of the Social Equity Task Force and really looking out for people to tap, right? And needing to create a bench too, because there's a lot of times when people ask for names, we need to have people on the bench to give the names too. So how do people be in the right places at the right time, so that they're seen and so that they can be put on the bench?
I think I told you this, but maybe I didn't. I've been a regional director for 10 years. I've been a division leader for 3. I've been on stages. I've been on leadership calls, whatever. I've been around. It's not like I haven't been around. How many people you think reached out to me to say, "Hey, could you help me? I'm trying to figure out a path. I've seen your path." How many people you think actually reach out to me and says, "Hey, just wondering, just curious, just inquiring like how you go about it." If they didn't feel like they could get it where they at, how many people you think reach out to me?
Tell us.
I'm going to say maybe 3, and I think I'm kind of forcing it in on like a conversation. I'm mixing a conversation kind of by coincidence, thinking it was like they wanted the conversation, but I'm not even sure. I think it was kind of just happened organically, not like they either instant messaged me or did something. Because listen, when I want to learn something, I will go the extra mile to find out. Like John Maxwell, right? I think he's amazing leadership. I love his faith, the way he is about faith and everything. So I kind of been aggressive to find him. Not only did we find him, we got him to our region to talk. I'm going to dinner at his house next week. Wow. at a mastermind. It's like a private mastermind, and then a dinner at his house. But I really sought out to get in his world and really get around him. And it was a lot of, it took me about 10 years. I'm not saying
I think that's important that you just said that. You said, I've been around, I've seen it, and nobody ever approached me and said, "Hey, how do I do XYZ? I want to do whatever it is they want to do." And why do you think that is?
Listen, Mike McCann was the #1 agent for Berkshire Hathaway, $300 million. And we have like 7 market centers all in that area where he does business. He says only one person called him from Keller Williams in all those years, and it ended up being the person that actually recruited him. He said he rarely got recruiting calls. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's intimidation on our part. I don't know what it is, but if you want something, I mean, I guess the question is, how much do you want it? Like if you say you want something, I kind of want it, and that day you want it, and then the next day you don't, that's not wanting it.
Mhm.
I mean, you want something like, I want to be an OP. I promise everybody on this call, if you meet the requirements and you want to be OP, you will be an OP because you're going to do whatever it takes. And you don't let the OP that's there stop you. You don't let anybody else stop you if you want to do it. But the question is, I ask people like, do you really want to do it? Because you want to do it today, and then next week you feel different because you didn't get to the gym or you had a bad week. That's not wanting it, so it's a matter of how much you want it. And I can tell you that's how I've been even when I want something like this VP of growth. It kind of didn't happen by accident. I told Gary Keller, I don't know, 4 years ago, whenever he came back as CEO, I was like, I want to be a leader in this company. And I want to be up there. And he kind of just blew it off, to be honest with you. But I put it out there, and listen, he communicates with me. We always talk. But it was kind of like, probably he hears that all the time. Maybe, like, okay, whatever, but I know in my heart, I was like, I can lead. I can do this thing. I got that. And I kept just doing my thing. Right. But I kept growing myself too, like doing my thing results wise, but also growing my lid.
And you asked, I think, like what I just heard you say, which is actually scripture, you have not because you ask not, right? Like if you want something, ask for it. Speak up, tell somebody you're looking for it. Now, what I will say, I have had people tell me, yeah, I told my team leader or I told my OP that I wanted to be, and that didn't go very far. What you're offering is, I'm the guy. I'm the guy that makes things happen. If you want something, let me know. And if you are qualified and willing to put in the work, you're going to help people do that.
Yes. And you know what? I'm going to take this a step further. Maybe I am the guy, but let's say I have a busy week too, and I don't answer your call. Don't stop there. Like, that's the thing. Like, yeah, I mean, you might need to email or text. I'm not saying that you will, but you never know. I'm on vacation. It goes to the bottom before you know it. I don't get it. I mean, it's happened, right? I'm just telling you. You don't stop at one person or anything for your dreams. You go, if John, hey, Joy, I tried John Clidy. You think you can get him? Go to Bowman Kitty, go to me. Like, you don't stop if you really want something. Because I'm telling you, like, it is, it's not like everything was handed to me. Like, there was times I had to make a lot of calls. I had to be patient. I had to do things. And I've done, I did what I had to do to get what I want. Right. And at the same time, I still got to provide for my family. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not going to sit here and complain, and I'm just going to keep hustling. I'm going to keep doing my thing. I'm going to keep grinding, but I'm also going to keep asking, and I'm going to keep learning. I think you don't stop that process, right? You keep learning, you keep hustling, you keep doing everything, because then no one can stop you. But I think when you kind of ask for something and they don't see you show up, and you don't come with logic, you're really not growing your lid, you really don't even understand the company you're part of, and then you're trying to talk to people that know what they're talking about, and they're like, really? Okay, whatever.
Well, so, you also mentioned, you said being prepared, so talk about being prepared for the opportunity, because you said, hey, are you on the ALC? Did you go to career visioning? Did you, there's things that are offered that people aren't showing up for. So when a lot of people come to you, or I've heard a lot of people say, I want to be an OP, I want to be an owner, don't even know exactly what an OP does or what that takes, right? So
we're in Black History Month on the BRM page. So I'm talking about minority leaders haven't come to me. I didn't say other leaders haven't come to me asking me, because they have. Mm-hmm. And because of my role, right? I mean, I've had people come to me saying, I want to be, I think I told you a story. The guy came to me, great dude in my region. He said, I want to be an OP. And he's a mega agent, $24 million Division I athlete, everything, every ticket you got, good looking guy, everything. And I'm like, okay, great. And I was supposed to do career visioning with him, right? I got his KPA and everything from me. And before I even start the process, I just asked a basic question to him. I'm saying, hey, are you on the ALC now? He's like, no, I was a couple of years ago. Oh, okay. Do you go to your office sales meetings? What I can. Oh, okay. Do you teach in the office at all? I used to. Oh, okay. Do you go to any, do you learn? Are you learning basically? You go into classes and learning and growing. And I was like, 6 personal perspective. No, you didn't know. Oh, career visioning. Have you done that? No, yeah, I heard about it. I didn't make it. Oh, okay. And then I said, so you go to Mega Camp 300 reunion every year. I try to get to one of them. Oh, okay. How about Red Day? You're all over that. Yeah. I usually do go. I didn't think I'd go last time. I was like, okay. And you want to be an operating principal? And he was like, oh. And that was the meeting. I was like, thank you very much. And he came back 19, 20 months later and said, and I've seen him since then. He's been at the meetings, and he said not only did he become a better person from that, I don't think he's drank a thing of alcohol. He has been in the best shape of his life. He owns that's 5 years later now. He owns the building that they're in. They're doing a syndication now. His whole life has changed because he got committed to that. So I think the moral of the story is, if you're committed and you want something, you'll go do it. Now that young man went back and got committed and repurposed himself, and now he's probably a millionaire and doing great things. And we're now looking at him. Actually, we are looking at him for another OP opportunity. So he's going to be an OP now in 2 years, and he's going to own 3 buildings now. And he owns title companies and everything else. But he wasn't there, 7 years ago. 7 years ago, he wasn't ready. So it's just a matter, you got to take the prescription you get. If you go to someone that you trust, no, the main thing I think we got to understand, Julia, when you go to your team leader, do you trust them first? Going to someone that you don't trust and they tell you there's no opportunity is one thing. But when you go to someone you trust and they tell you there's no opportunity, that's a whole different thing. And then you should ask, the next question is, why? Or what do I need? What do you think I need to work on? Or what's missing from that I can't, they should prescribe to you, kind of like I did to him, is like, you need to get plugged in. You need to be learning based. You need to go to career visioning, right? You need to be in your market center being a leader. I care more about what you do when I'm not watching than when I'm watching.
So, okay, let's kind of wrap this thing up. You have had the opportunity to be a lot of things. You were the first Black guy in the room, and you did a lot of things. You've done a lot of things. There's been a lot of opportunity. You have now elevated to be, I'm still going to call it until we find until we find out otherwise, that is currently what we've identified as the highest ranking Black executive in real estate franchise history. That's what we know it to be right now.
Listen, now you got me wanting to know. So I guess if somebody needs to find out, I want to know.
If we're wrong, right? But that's the case. This is Black History Month, and you're making history. And what I like about the fact that you're in this position making history is you have a commitment to not being the only one in the room. So can you just share with us briefly, in 30 seconds, ultimately, what is your goal for the people who are members of this KW Black Real Estate Network group?
That you get committed about your dreams. I think that just saying you want something, one thing, you got to look, did I put myself in position to get my dreams? And if you didn't, that's okay, because I didn't either, and you didn't at one point. But then you go after it. And if you don't know what the benchmarks are.
If you're on Zoom, I just moved my chair and look exactly where I was like, okay, I can't have.
Yeah, that's all right.
Out of my, let me move my, go ahead, keep talking. Yeah.
If you don't know the prescription, then what's all saying, you better go ask somebody.
Yeah.
Right. And then you go after it. And then you get coaching. I don't care if you pay for it. I don't care if you get an accountability partner. I don't care if it's you, it's me, it's someone you trust, it's your spouse, it's significant other. Get someone to say, hey, in 2 years, I want to be this, or I want this, and hold me accountable to it, right? No different than a diet, no different than a workout. And just make sure that you stay on that track, because you're going to have days like me and you. I mean, listen, the last 30 days, it's been crazy. I'm just saying, it's been crazy. I love it because that's who I am. I love to figure things out, but it's been crazy. And it's easy to just give up and just say, I'm done. I'm gonna go back to my great life I had before. And everything was, this is an uncomfortable feeling, right? When you're starting new and you're trying to make everything work in one day, it's just not going to happen, right? I think I'm going to leave it with the Mo quote. Mo Anderson said to my ALC, she said, darlings, you're either committed or you're not. And you can't be partially committed like you can't be partially pregnant. Right? You can't be partially pregnant, right? You're either pregnant or you're not. And you can't be partially committed. You're either committed or not. And if you're committed to getting it, you're going to get it. If you're not committed to getting it, you ain't going to get it. I mean, it's really, I know it sounds simple, but it's that simple.
You're saying that the members in this group that are committed, they're going to get committed, they can reach out to you, because maybe people think that somebody like you is out of reach.
They can reach out to me, but what are you reaching out to me about, right? If you're reaching out to me about a true opportunity, did you hit the benchmarks we talked about? Because if you didn't, then I would go to your market center, and that's what they're for, right? You know, what do I need to do to get my production up? But if you got the production level, absolutely reach out to me, right? And let's figure out a plan. I would love to figure it out. And I'm not saying we're gonna fix the world in a day, but we're sure going to try. We're going to try to figure it out. Absolutely.
Well, John, I tell you what, I'm super proud to know you. I'm proud to be a part of this moment in Black history on February 6, 2024. And can't wait to see what things happen in the next month, in the next 6 months, in the next year. We're going to continue to provide value, and what I can commit to doing better is dropping in this group, because people come here for a lot of resources, information about some of those classes. You talked about going to career visioning. Obviously, you talked about mega camp family reunions coming up at the end of this month. You talked about just being on the ALC, you know, just getting your production up enough to even be able to be on the ALC.
Don't forget, train the trainer and train the presenter.
Train the trainer, train the presenter. All of those things we're going to make sure that you are aware of. And also, even if I don't drop it in the chat, you should be looking out for those things. Gary Keller teaches a leadership academy in Austin. I'm shocked how many people don't sign up for that.
Oh, and my other goal that they'll all love on this call is I want a leadership academy in every region. So I want to make sure that every region is going to have some sort of leadership academy that if you are interested, you can go there, and that region's going to be putting it on, and possibly me, you, Mark, or some executive might be there showing up as well. Wendy, someone will be there. But that's another thing we want to make sure that we are having in every region, that you're going to be able to ask what's the org chart looks like for sales, for leadership, and all that. So that's coming soon. We're working on that as well.
Well, congratulations, John. I'm super proud of you, super proud to know you. Thank you for tolerating our little faux pas earlier today when we couldn't quite make the live. Again, that's my fault.
This is better. I think this is better because you and I think we went down and dirty on this. I don't know if we would have. I don't know if I was in the mindset. I think now I'm too hyped now. So I don't know if I was there.
And I love it because I got the energy, you got the energy, and guess what? We got a lot of opportunities, and we want to give them to everybody who's listening. So thanks, John, for your time. Thank you, everybody, for watching this video. Who do they contact if they want to reach you? How do they reach you?
You know what? Go to RebeccaRose.com. She has my calendar, and if you need me for something. You know, I'm not sitting here saying if it's, opportunity is one thing, but if something's going wrong and you just need to talk to someone, I mean, I'm here. I mean, I'm not going to, and Joy, I know you're here too.
Yeah. And then also, of course, you've got your book, Leaving Six Figures. You've got a podcast called Leaving Six Figures where you interview a lot of
Leaving Six Figure Stories. Yep.
All of that stuff. Listen to John. If you like what you heard here today, the Color of Money podcast, episode 4 was John Clidy talking about leaving six figures. And tune in for the other stuff we have going on in the KWBREN network. Until next time, friends, thanks for watching. Thank you, John. And everybody take care.
Thank you. Have fun. All right. Bye.